Hey everyone, welcome back to the GameSpot E3 stage. I'm your host Mike Mahardy here with Justin Haywald.
Hello.
And Dan Greenawalt, the creative director on the Forza franchise.
How's it going?
Good. You must be having a good week. Forza Motorsport 7 is out in the open now after Microsoft's press conference.
Yeah, it was an incredible moment. I mean, it was kind of historic. We unveiled a flagship supercar here at E3. The 911 GT2 RS was unveiled on stage, and that's never happened before. I mean, we've shown cars before at Forza on the stage, but it's never been a world debut of a car. And that's not because of Forza. That's actually because of gamers.
Yeah.
The rise of gaming has been incredible. It's mainstream now. And that's what's created this amazing experience. And there's more coming this weekend. Our racers, the Forza Racing Championship eSport racers, will be at the 85th running of Le Mans. It's the Super Bowl of sports car races, and they'll be taking the podium alongside the other winners of the real race. It's incredible to think what has changed in gaming over the last 10 or 15 years.
And Forza in particular really pushes the realism of cars and driving and racing, and that has to come from a passion for those vehicles.
Absolutely. I mean, the team is passionate about technology, it's passionate about games, and it's passionate about cars. I happen to be kind of in all three camps, so I'm in the perfect spot there. But yeah, we love to be involved in cars and motorsport. But you know, the creative director on the motorsport product line, you worked on Pokemon. And so we have 700 cars in this game, and there's a collecting mechanic in the game itself. So it's not just the number of cars, but the way you can integrate with them. So having a passion for games, and then a passion for technology. When you think about the Xbox One X, the most powerful console ever made, our team was tripping over itself to be, pushing that and pushing it even harder than anyone else could.
Yeah, minutes before Forza 7 was revealed, it was also the reveal of the Xbox One X, or at least, this is the final name, this is what it looks like, this is how much it costs, this is when it's going to come out, and then, of course, Phil Spencer tossed it over to Forza 7.
Yeah.
What was it like kind of seeing your game in this 4K resolution and everything up on the big screen, and what was it like making your game with these specs in mind?
Well, that screen was insane. Even during rehearsal, just looking up at it, seeing 4K on this huge bright screen was incredible. So we actually moved our engine, the Forza Tech engine. It powers Forza Horizon and Forza Motorsport. We moved it over to PC with Forza Motorsport 6 Apex, moved it to DX12. We then took that engine and put it on the Scorpio dev kits before it was the Xbox One X, and had it running at native 4K, solid 60 frames per second, with higher resolution PC assets, and we still had 30% more power headroom to actually play with. So it was amazing. And also the transition, I've been around for a while, for the launch of the original Xbox, the 360, and so on. Moving into this as a dev environment has never been easier. We were up and running in a day, and 30% extra room over the top, which allowed us to just decide how do we want to make the best possible image quality. And that means at this point, the game people are playing down on the show floor, Forza Motorsport 7, cannot be run on any other console. It could only be run on the Xbox One X or on a super high-end PC.
Sure. And what's it like moving away from if it can't be run on Xbox One, what's it like moving away from that?
Well, it still can. So it's just that, think of it like a PC.
Sure.
So the Scorpio, the Xbox One X, is like an incredibly high-end PC, but it's also a fixed architecture, which means we can optimize it and really make it look incredible. In so doing, that optimization, we actually lowered the min spec on the PC version of the game.
Okay.
So the optimization benefited everything. It also meant on the Xbox One and the Xbox One S, the game looks even better. So photogrammetry, which is a technique that's used by some of the developers already seen on stage today, that technique actually makes the textures look better in the game, not only the Xbox One X, but actually on the Xbox One and the Xbox One S as well. So all of the platforms benefited. And all of that's just the graphical side. Of course, the game plays fantastic. And as a cross-play and XPA game, we're unifying this massive racing audience. So you can play it on PC against people on the Xbox One S, against people on the Xbox One X, and have this massive community. There's 4.8 million players playing every single month in Forza. It's a huge racing community. So bringing them all together, getting them excited about cars and technology and racing, that's really the vision our game.
Yeah, you were just mentioning outside of just the graphical improvements, in terms of gameplay and connectivity, how the Xbox One X is helping Forza kind of develop. But I'm curious how Xbox One X, or even, I mean, like, I know you don't work with Sony, but like with like updated consoles that almost update like on a PC cycle now. What does this mean for the future of like Forza or racing games in general? Like, can you see this affecting anything on the gameplay side in the future?
I think it's great. For us in particular, we had an engine that was custom made for the Xbox One. You know, it was a bespoke engine, very high strung. It ran really well on the Xbox One. It was a native 1080p game at a solid 60 frames per second. By going to PC with DirectX 12, with Forza Motorsport 6 Apex and Forza Horizon 3, we were able to make our engine more ubiquitous. It could work on multiple different types of devices with different drivers and what have you. And Xbox, the DirectX 12 allowed us to code straight to the metal and really get the most out of people's PCs. By moving our engine in that direction, taking a more PC-centered approach, it's much easier to take advantage of console cycles as they move on. But as a game creator, I want to get the biggest community possible playing our game. We want to get them passionate and excited. So I don't want to leave the Xbox One S or the Xbox One behind. I want gamers to be hungry and excited to play Forza Motorsport 7 on the Xbox One. It looks great. It's got a huge car list. The physics feel fantastic. So we have to embrace this kind of development cycle, and it's a win for the gamers. I mean, PC gamers now have a bigger community to compete in. And console gamers now have more options. Are you looking for something at the right price point, or are you looking for the most powerful console ever made? You can do either one.
You know, speaking as someone who's been in the industry for a long time, you've seen these shifts and how that's affected things. Like making games for the original Xbox is very different than the Xbox 360 and now the Xbox One. And it's unprecedented how this generation of consoles is changing. Is it as difficult going from, you know, Xbox One to Xbox 360 as it is from Xbox One to Xbox One X, or is that kind of shared architecture making that an easier process?
The shared architecture makes all of the difference. It's a huge, huge change. This honestly, to the developer, doesn't feel like a console generation switch at all. What it feels like is like a new video card or something. You know, it's part of PC development, right? So new hardware is coming in, and you want to optimize for it and make a great experience without leaving behind players on these other consoles. You want to unify this community. Getting up and running was incredibly easy, and a lot of it's because of similarities between DirectX 12 on PC and DirectX 12X on the Xbox One and the Xbox One X.
If you're looking at racing games, you know, like I like racing games. I play a lot of different kinds of racing games. Obviously, like Forza is very different than Need for Speed, and then the Crew 2 was announced at Ubisoft's press conference, and then of course you have GT Sport also on the horizon. If I'm someone that maybe plays all those other ones, but isn't like traditionally a Forza fan, what is Forza offering them that they can't get anywhere else? Like what is it that is inviting them into the Forza franchise if they haven't been with it since the last few games?
What's really important to us on Forza is to bring together this massive community, and that means having a diverse community. So Forza Motorsport 7 has split screen. We also have a ton of assists. So you turn all the assists off, and you are playing the most advanced simulation you're going to find. The tire simulation alone is something that's more on the commercial grade. We didn't want to make a choice or a compromise between pro race drivers using our game to train and having my 9-year-old twin boys be able to play the game on split screen. So we add layers of assists that make it easier to drive, and depending on what your skill level is, you can come into it. That broadens out the type of player that can play it. So if you're looking for split screen, 700 cars, I mean, you name it. You know, we've got all this diversity in the car list. You can come in at any level and find your place. You're a painter, you're a tuner, a photographer, you want to be involved in the auction house. This game is massive. But it's not just Forza Motorsport. Forza Horizon as well. Open world. Are you a core gamer? You love exploring open worlds, collecting and finding these incredible sunsets, and again, taking photographs. Forza Horizon has you as well. So I don't see the games as just one versus the other. I see the Forza community and the Forza franchise as a way of bringing people together around cars and games.
Cool. I guess my final question would be, when can we play Forza Motorsport 7?
Forza Motorsport 7 will be shipping on Xbox One, Xbox One S, and PC on October 3rd. It's an XPA game, so it means you buy it on PC and you can play it on Xbox, your achievements and save game. And then on November 7th, when the Xbox One X ships, a content update will come into the game and you'll be able to play it there as well. And it's a tremendous showcase of your HD. If you got an HD TV, oh my God. Yeah. So Xbox One X is incredible. I'm going to be playing all of my games on it because they all run better. But Forza Motorsport 7 will really show off your HD TV and the Xbox One X.
Great. Dan Greenawalt, thank you so much for coming on the stage here today.
Thank you.
Awesome. And everybody watching from home, we will have more developer interviews and gameplay demos throughout the week here at GameSpot. So stay tuned. We'll see you around.